Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling an uncontrollable urge to dance. Not for joy, not for celebration, but because your body refuses to stop. Hours became days. Days became weeks. Soon, hundreds of people were dancing through the streets. Some collapsed, some bled, some reportedly danced until they died. And even today, no one knows exactly why. This is the terrifying mystery of the dancing plague of 1518. To understand this mystery, we need to travel back more than 500 years. The year is 1518. The city is Strasbourg, a prosperous trading city inside the Holy Roman Empire. But beneath the surface, life was far from peaceful. Disease was common. Food shortages were frequent. The memory of war still haunted Europe. Most people believed illness could be punishment from God, or even the work of dark supernatural forces. Fear shaped everyday life. Then, in July of 1518, something happened that would shock the entire city. A woman stepped into the street. Her name was Frau Troffea, and what happened next would become one of history's strangest mysteries. Without warning, Frau Troffea began dancing at first. People laughed. Some assumed she was celebrating. Others believed she had simply lost her mind. But the laughter soon disappeared, because she never stopped. Hours passed. Then an entire day. Then another. Historical accounts claim she danced for nearly a week, barely eating, barely sleeping, driven by a force nobody could understand. Then, something even more disturbing happened. Others began dancing to Dot. At first there were only a few, then dozens, and soon the city realized this was no ordinary event. The nightmare had only begun. Within days, the number of dancers would explode. The city would try to stop them. And in a decision almost impossible to believe, the authorities would make the epidemic even worse. At first, the city believed Frau Troffea was simply an isolated case. But within days, others began dancing to no invitations, no music, no celebrations. People simply joined, as if some invisible force had spread through Strasbourg, and the number kept growing. The people of Strasbourg didn't know what they were witnessing. Was it a disease, a curse, a punishment from God, or something far more terrifying? The city had never seen anything like it, and every day the crowd grew larger. Men danced, women danced, the elderly danced, the young danced, the rich, the poor. Nobody appeared immune. The epidemic ignored social status, ignored wealth, ignored reason. Anyone could be next. This wasn't joyful dancing. Witnesses described agony. Feet blistered, muscles tore, bodies collapsed from exhaustion. Yet somehow they continued moving. Some screamed, some cried, some begged for help. But the dancing never stopped. Weeks passed. The epidemic accelerated. 10 became 50. 50 became 100. Historical records suggest that nearly 400 people eventually joined the frenzy. An entire city was descending into chaos, and still, no one knew why. Eventually, the authorities were forced to act. Doctors were consulted. Priests were consulted. Officials debated endlessly. And after examining the dancers, they reached a shocking conclusion. The dancers weren't possessed. They weren't cursed. According to the doctors, they suffered from an excess of hot blood, and there was only one cure: let them dance. Believing the dancers needed to release the sickness, the city did something almost unbelievable. They built stages, they hired musicians, and they encouraged the dancers to continue. Instead of stopping the epidemic, they fed it, and what happened next would become the darkest chapter of the entire mystery. The city believed they had found the cure, but they were wrong. The music played, the dancers danced, and the epidemic exploded in the next chapter. People would begin collapsing in greater numbers. Fear would consume Strasbourg, and centuries later, the mystery would remain unsolved. The city's solution had failed. The musicians played, the stages filled, the dancers continued. But instead of stopping, the epidemic appeared to grow even stronger. What Strasbourg thought was a cure may have become fuel for the disaster. As the dancing spread, fear spread even faster. Families locked their doors. Parents kept children indoors. Merchants abandoned their stalls, and whispers filled the streets. Some believed the dancers were possessed. Others believed God was punishing the city. Many feared they could be next. In the 16th century, faith was inseparable from daily life. When medicine failed, people turned to religion. Churches filled with desperate prayers. Candles burned through the night. Many believed a saint had cursed the dancers, and only divine intervention could save them. Eventually, the authorities changed their approach. The dancers were taken away from the city. Many were sent to a shrine dedicated to Saint Virtuous. Their special rituals were performed. Prayers were offered, and, according to historical accounts, the epidemic slowly began to fade, almost as mysteriously as it had appeared. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the dancing stopped. The city recovered. Life returned to normal. But the questions remained. No disease was identified. No poison was confirmed. No explanation fully fit the evidence. And for centuries, the mystery endured. One theory points to a fungus called ergot. Ergot grows on rye grain, and under certain conditions, it produces chemicals similar to LSD. Some historians suggest contaminated bread caused hallucinations and strange behavior. It sounds convincing, but there's a problem. Ergot poisoning usually causes violent spasms, not organized dancing that lasted for days, which means the theory doesn't fully explain the mystery. Another theory is even stranger. Mass psychogenic illness, sometimes called mass hysteria. Imagine living in a world filled with famine, disease, war, religious fear, and uncertainty. Now imagine hundreds of people sharing the same anxiety. Some researchers believe the people of Strasbourg were pushed beyond their psychological limits, and their collective stress manifested physically, if true. The dancers weren't infected by a disease. They were overwhelmed by fear itself. 500 years later, we still don't know what truly happened in Strasbourg. Was it poison, mass hysteria, religious panic, or something modern science still doesn't understand? Hundreds danced, many suffered, and history never gave us a clear answer. History is filled with mysteries, but few are as bizarre or as unsettling as the dancing plague of 1518. A moment when an entire city watched people dance beyond reason and never learned why. If you enjoy real historical mysteries, lost civilizations, unexplained events, and forgotten legends, subscribe to Codex Obscura, because some of history's darkest secrets are still waiting to be uncovered.